While Moist works Juicy into the mix, Vitality seems to already be in full swing in the European Open. Let's find out if Moist can overcome them in our final series of Day 2 of the European Open.
Vitality might end up seeing those sort of predictions and wondering what they've got to do here to get the pick, as they are coming into this one. Not only the desk against them, but you at home against them as well. Jogging here joined by Johnny. And yeah, I'm a little surprised by that, mate. What are you thinking?
Yeah, after the showing Vitality I've had this weekend, beating Carmine Corp and Moist looking a bit shaky in their group, I'm of course leading Vitality here. I've got to, give a special shout out to Alpha 54. I'm hoping get well soon, Alpha, because he tweeted a 39-degree fever today, so hopefully he's feeling good. He definitely looked to be in good spirits in the pre-game there when we got a chance to see them on the camera. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are also curious after seeing Astral on camera, what's going on? Why is he sitting next to his desk? Well, I've actually had a chance to talk to him about that. He likes to be exactly the same distance away from his monitor every time he plays, and he doesn't trust himself to know based on just gauging the distance. So he wedges himself next to the desk with his chest and puts the monitor a specific distance away. So he knows that in real life, and not just his in-game camera settings, but his in real life settings are on point every single time he plays.
Oh, whatever works for you. I'll be wondering, though, if we do end up seeing Vitality go ahead to win this, are we going to start getting the illness buff be known as a thing in Rocket League? Because we had that at Worlds. Potentially might have this here with Alpha. Maybe not something I would highly encourage people to go looking for that buff, but still, Astral now on the chase. Didn't quite get it this time around. I think the main thing that we had the chance to cast over Moist yesterday, the main thing for both of us is that when they are clicking, they look fine. But this was a team that was thrown to some very weird goals conceded, just out of nothing.
Yeah, they didn't look comfortable in their group stage match. The match that could have had them winning the group, it ended in a second place for them, in fact. But when they faced BDS in round 1 of the playoffs, they were a different team entirely. I think Juicy, who's now on the ball looking for a solo play and almost gets a solo play. He had a big step-up performance against BDS. I think he looked very comfortable on the pitch, and that's full credit to Moist, the organization, the team, Astral Choyo for being able to turn the mental around that quickly, because they played the first round yesterday immediately after losing the group. So they needed to step up. It was do or die, and they did what they had to do.
Especially when you look towards Joyo, that is a player that has gone on the long run during the last winter major, knows how to look beyond a loss and focus on what is up next. He's now on the ball. Puts Radosin into a bit of an awkward spot, actually, but does enough to put Juicy on the off angle. Been good offense so far, just ticking along from Moist. Again, something that we did note yesterday, Johnny. Moist were doing a phenomenal job of not just lashing at the ball when they thought they had a half chance. They will just keep ticking away until they get the chance.
Yeah, they've had Vitality on the back foot for a long time here. And it's these early interceptions that are keeping Vitality in this position. Astral jumps on them as soon as they try to clear the ball. Now that's better. The clear goes towards Alpha, who launches it into the net. Now, it might have been tough for Vitality to break out of defense, but they just needed one go at it. Sizen down the line to Alpha. Perfect passing play. That is why you want to pass out of defense.
That's also why you just want to give yourself that option on the angle. Alpha did exactly that. Stuck around, and is that now going to be 2? Juicy tries to get back. Still would have been helped by the post. Vitality, despite almost no time at all spent in the blue side of the field, are a goal up. Moist now need to make these opportunities stick. Radosin not going to get beyond Astral. Does at least get the bump on him, so that now brings Alpha into the play. Off the reset, low challenge. Goes safe for the time being. And now Astral looking for the setup play. Had such a great major for himself. Wants to keep that form up and running. A difficult shot to take if anybody was around, and nobody there for Moist. Minute and 20 here, Johnny. They are the team down by 1.
Yeah, Vitality have had the structure. Oh, that's a bit of a fortunate save there, though. Joyo just fired it straight at Alpha, who knew nothing about it, but he's in the right place. to pop the ball clear. That was a great chance for Moist. Only got a minute to work with. Having difficulty getting that final shot on target. Everything involving midfield pressure has been good. It's been on point for Moist, but getting that last play to go past Vitality has been tricky. Oh, that's so brave. Alpha just stands and dribbles the ball away from his own goal line. And he's still going, you know. That is an unbelievably brave play by the Vitality captain.
There's been a fair few plays today that we've said, maybe incorporate this a little bit more into your ranked play. Yeah, don't do that one. That one's a little bit too much to go and incorporate that into your ranked gameplay. That is an alpha-only thing. On 20 seconds now. Onto the corner. Not quite the bounce that Vitality would like to see. But compared to Moist, they don't need to see anything else. Joyo. Has he got any help? No, instead tries to go by himself. Alpha does shut that one down. Astral back passes to his teammate. Tries the wrong foot Radosin. Joyo doesn't get a bump, and that will be a 1-0 victory. And not a game, Johnny, that has answered a lot of questions that we have about this series. But one thing we do know, Vitality, they know how to play defense.
Yeah, so organized in this game, so calm in this game as well, especially towards the end. They were on a 1-goal lead. Alpha 54 is catching the ball on his own goal line and dribbling it the entire length of the pitch, while multiple players throw themselves towards him, trying to get him to lose his cool. And yeah, Moist, they had a couple of very close efforts here. I think that they can just keep on doing what they're doing, and they are getting chances. But the final execution is what they've been lacking in this first game here. But yeah, shout out Sizen mainly for that goal. You know, it's the pass that makes the goal in those counterattacks down the line. Of course, Alpha had the awareness to run down the line and be a passing option, but the pass is what made that shot so quick. Alpha just had to get a little touch on it, and the ball flies into the net even from a distance. So Sizen making the goal happen there, the 1 goal, and separated the two teams.
And it was not much that separated them at all, because cast our minds back. There was a very fortunate moment in there for Vitality where that ball could have gone anywhere, and they were very lucky to see it ricochet off one of their own players. And now Joyo, will he be stopped on this one? Tries to add an extra phase to the play.
Wow.
Wow. That is one where you don't know where the ball is going at all, and you just hope for the best when you turn back around. Now Juicy off the pass. Okay. Nothing will stop this from going in. Juicy on the board.
Yeah, Vitality all getting a little bit too close for comfort there. Sizen crept up extremely close to the ball as third man. And, you know, infield passing to third man, always risky, like we say often. But definitely when it's just falling short of the near post there. Easy counter-attack for Moist. 2 counter-attacks in 2 games, and for 2 separate teams, leading to the only goals that have been scored so far.
This is going to lead into some Season 3 style Rocket League right here, where it's just long balls. Don't play offense. Don't send 2 people down that side of the field. You might get counter-attacked.
Vitality are all up again. I mean, this is how they conceded the first goal. And the only goal of the game.
Have they seen how they won the last game and decided that they didn't like it?
It's not comfortable being stuck in defense for that long, I'm sure, but it was working. So unusual to see the whole Vitality squad this far advanced in risky positions.
That's something that they can work with, though. Alpha to himself, and that's the danger when you add that extra phase. Recoveries in Modern Rocket League so quick that somebody is always going to be able to get towards that backboard.
Again here.
Now Alpha goes for himself again. Well, one of them's going to work eventually. Vitality are in constant attacking flow.
I mean, Alpha's in a training pack. He's in a lean back reset double training pack. He's just done it twice in a row here. Go on, Alpha. Hit a third one. He might, you know, it's in a good position for it. He goes for the stealing play instead. Wanted to switch
just merely.
Yeah, three in a row might have been a bit too blatant. Would have loved to seen it though. He had the setup if he wanted it. He could have had it.
Alpha yet again taking control of the ball. His team down by 1. 3 minutes left to play here. Astral's got good purchase on that hit. Might give his team a little bit of a push now to move into that side of the field. Maybe try and scrounge for that second goal. It's not been a match that's really flowed too much so far, Johnny. Everyone's kind of picking and waiting to see, is it really my turn? Nobody's really making that conscious decision to go all out for it. Apart from that one time Vitality did make that conscious decision, and it went very wrong for them.
Yeah,
One just seems a little bit
careful.
snake-bitten.
Bit more careful approach compared to earlier in the game by Vitality, where they were advancing very, very far forward with all 3 players. And I think Moist have also been very careful. That's a great effort from Astral. He doubles it off the inside of the post. So he almost scored with the first shot. And he had the follow-through just in case.
That is... Wow. That's impressive. That's so impressive.
He's read that the whole way.
That post is very much, I would say, the most difficult angle on the entire game to read. Everywhere else you can get a somewhat good guess. That post usually just goes wherever it feels like.
Yeah, Astral has made a name for himself all throughout his Rocket League career. Being able to read those impossible bounces. Still to this day, he's coming up with new ways to score, new positions to score from. That might be a third, but it's just barely taken off the line there by Redustin, who's had a bit of a quiet game, and that's not something that can be said for his group stage performance yesterday. Redustin was putting in mechanical plays. He was, I think, playing more confidently than I've seen him play on Vitality since he joined. That's the one thing that was lacking in the last split for Vitality. They seem to be just putting too much pressure on themselves. A lot of discussion about this 4-man roster plan that they've got. Now there's half a chance. And it's well defended. Juicy getting a big clear on it. Sizen couldn't really make up his mind what to do. Follow-up touch.
Yeah, still slow plays coming out from Vitality. They have got just about enough time to justify doing that. But very soon, they're going to have to up the pace a little bit more. Astral waiting on the wall. Watching the ceiling does not quite agree with him. Alpha now. Off the ceiling to Redustin in field, and just mistimed. Pass, as you said earlier on, is what makes those sort of plays, and that was not a pass that could really be worked with.
Yeah, definitely not for an immediate shot from that distance. It would be very surprising to see Moist concede from that range, from that infield pass, but I don't think Sizen needed to shoot it first time. He could have taken his time with it. Like to see the passing play from Vitality. That's how they scored their only goal last game. And they've got plenty solo play power to fall back on as well. It is unusual to see Vitality struggle to connect for this long. Surely that'll be an opportunity. Choyos floor pinched it to get the save. That all but confirms the Game 2 win for Moist. Astral trying to add another one. And he will, just to make sure it's 3-0. Moist. There's too much in the second game for Vitality.
This is a sort of series right now, Johnny, where I'm going to start wondering about the staff behind them, because both teams not quite hitting, I would say, even their third or fourth gear from what we know that they are capable of. It's going to be out which coaching staff can get their teams into as close to the prime as possible. 1-0 victory, followed up by 3-0 defeat. Vitality, I don't know if they quite know what they did right last time and what went wrong this time. They've got to find those answers very, very soon. As for Moist, the answer usually is pretty simple. It's called Astral.
Yeah, big play there from Astral to double off the inside of the post to put in what really was the first solo goal of the game. Before that, first solo goal of the series, I should say. Before that, we saw a couple of team goals on the counter-attack. Yeah, looking forward to seeing what Team Vitality try to do differently here. Of course, they've got Farah standing behind them, former World Championship 4th place finisher, former LAN champion, winning DreamHack Valencia 2019. So he's got a lot of experience, of course, in these kind of positions, played online RLCS for many seasons in a row. Yeah, that's the kind of guy you want behind you in these positions, someone who's been there, done it themselves.
Looking for somebody that you would have expected to have maybe all of those accolades towards them at the moment. Maybe say Alpha, who, for all the promise and potential that we know he's got, would maybe want a little bit more to his name at this point. Is this the new roster to do it with? Is this the split to get that sorted out? Or is Joyo going to have too much on this shot? No, just right out Redustin. Be thankful to see that.
There's a big chance early for Sizen with the downward bounce double attempt. Something we saw Alpha score yesterday. Made it into the top 3 plays of the day. Sizen was not able to emulate him in the first effort in game 3.
Clear again. This is where we've seen the majority of offensive opportunities come from. Now Juicy, can he get on Radostin? No, not quite. Realized that he'd lost control of the ball, tried to get rid of the keeper itself. Booms the ball straight over to Joyo. Happy to boom it straight back. Alpha. Only as far as Astral. Does take control. Of course he does. Now Juicy goes straight for net. Did have Joyo actually to pass it back down to. Instead went for net. We still have Moist on offensive duty. Now Sizen takes back over. Joyo's actually by himself. He's got 2 players chasing him down. Who's going to be the first one to it? Instead, Joyo did just about enough. Now he's got the reinforcements, but Alpha up against the challenge. And it was good enough to keep the ball away.
Well, you know, they're playing more spread out, but they get the goal off the back of it. Sizen pounces on a near post fumble by Moist. Radostin managed to get the ball into the middle, despite the fact he's been bumped off the back wall. And Juicy couldn't get goal side. Joyo couldn't get goal side. Moist just needed bodies in the way there. They needed somebody to hit the ball into the corner, but some kind of miscommunication has led to nothing happening. Hold on, that might be a second goal. As Astro can scramble, which he can. Well, that was all too easy for Vitality. Moist not doing enough to prevent a very simple goal.
Now Moist needs to buck the trend because we have not seen a team score a single goal after conceding the first in either of our first 2 games. 1-0, 3-0. Moist have to try and turn that on its head. But right now they're up against the Radostin, who is just trying to turn them into pretzels on the goal line. Sizen passed down. Radostin chooses to delay the shot. Have they been caught out here? Yes, they have. It is another coast-to-coast hit.
Yeah, this one didn't even need a passing play. Juicy just fires it first time. He saw Alpha going for that side boost, and he knew that there was no way that he'd be able to catch up with a full power shot. That's a big mistake from Alpha. He did not need to grab that boost. What he needed to be doing, staying between the ball and the goal, just make sure that a long shot doesn't have a clean road through.
There's the lead. Disappeared. Radostin now. No boost with him, but he does bring in a player that does. First one to it. Juicy. Just delay off. Astral. Not far off making unintentional contact to turn it into his own goal. Gets away with it. We've been caught completely blind about one coming towards him. This is a series, Johnny, that both teams know that they can take control over. It is very open with a very big opportunity to whoever wins this.
Yeah, it's also, I think, about time that we intentionally mentioned that Juicy's slotting into this lobby very well. And this is a player who's been under question. A bit of a newer player to the scene. Moist have put their faith in him as a replacement for one of the absolute best players in the world, Rise, who has departed for Oxygen, as I'm sure you're all aware. I think so far Juicy has proven that he belongs at this level. It's, I think, great that he's got a chance to play on a world-class team and show everybody what he can do. Moist have really needed him in this match. They've really used him well at times. Such an intelligent player. Such a consistent player when his mentality's on point, which it seems to be right now.
And what would that say as well for the recruiting of this team, that they can lose 2 players at the caliber of Rise and Vatira and still keep themselves in that fight? That is something that time will tell. Vitality, on the other hand, we spoke about this yesterday, and this is to a lesser extent for Vitality, but they're in the same rough boathouse as BDS is, where they're a team that need a major spot. They did not get one in the first split. Now playing chase to everyone else when it comes to World qualification. You want to make it to a major. You want that exclusive points total that nobody else in your region is getting access to. This is a nice part of the tournament to make it to, but you want to make it that little step further.
Yeah, it is that semi-final is the big step. Obviously winning it. Oh wait, that's
another one like this.
Astral's going to get up. Second touch on it, but why is this open?
What is going on?
Well, Sizen has just decided to advance with no boost and ends up underneath the ball, completely unable to get back to it, completely unable to retreat. I have no idea what possessed him to drive forward there, and if he's called for the pass or if Verdosen is called that he's passing, either way, it doesn't make sense. Vitality give Moist another easy counter-attack goal. They're not going to get a 0-second opportunity. That is game over. Wow. In the same way that they conceded at the start of Game 2, Vitality lose Game 3.
And both the goals were from creeping up.
Yeah, from Sizen.
Moist did not have to do much at all in offense, and they have still won this one. If Vitality, surely they call a timeout. You don't lose like that. I mean, look, here's goal number 1.
Yep,
that should not be going in. Here's goal number 2. Yep. That should not be going in.
I mean, it's really quite simple. When you're making mistakes like this, it's easy to identify where it's all gone wrong. I mean, Alpha just has to know there that he shouldn't be going for the boost. You have to respect the long shot. It's not a play where there's a pass, but in a way, Juicy passed the ball to himself. When you can fire the ball off the back wall in defense, the side wall, I should say, in defense, and then it comes back to you, you can use that power that you've already generated on the ball to get massive power in a shot from distance, which Juicy did. Alpha didn't respect that. They conceded. And now Sizen, 2 separate occasions, has driven forward in incredibly risky positions without telling his teammates that he's on 0 boost. I have to imagine that he just didn't communicate the fact that he's on low boost. Either that or his teammates are just not listening. Because if your third man says they have low boost, you should not be infield passing blindly to them. You need to maybe look where the pass is going to go before you just hope that they're going to be there. Yeah, crazy misplays from Vitality causing them to concede.
And now when we see them in this sort of position, it's almost not Moist unworried for anymore. Who have conceded some similar-ish goals, but at least those ones were nice passes right onto the hood of Alpha. Vitality are causing themselves a heap of their own trouble.
Yeah, really hope Sizen could just get into the game here, because it's so easy to just tilt off the face of the earth when plays like that happen.
That's the reason why I was thinking you just call the timeout, like just cool off that.
Yeah.
Especially when you lose a game like that one.
Yeah,
okay. They have thought that they can just go next, and if there was a player that they needed to get that goal, that was the one that needed it.
Oh, it's great control by Alpha. Look at what he's been able to do with 0 boost there. The fact that he gets around the ball and then gets just enough on it to infield pass against Moist's prepared goalkeeper. That's just perfect play. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but to get that much acceleration on the ball, to keep control of the ball with no boost available, every touch needs to be perfect. Every movement needs to be perfect, and that's what Alpha's done there. Open up the goal. And how crucial is it that Sizen's the one who's got it? That's going to settle the nerves, you would hope, for Vitality.
I just want to see any more long shots going.
Yeah.
Get a pass and plays like that. Reminder as well, whoever does win this has got to play against Oxygen tomorrow in the semi-finals. Oh my goodness! Verdosen! That was incredible!
Well, he found himself with a bit of space. And it's an incredible angle double. Goalkeeper just got on the wrong side of the goal line there. Juicy probably not expecting the shot to come at him at that much, with that much quality. Verdosen has seized the opportunity there. And he's trying to do it again. Air dribble bump into the bar. Astral going to turn it around and attempt the same idea. He's got 2 players to get past and doesn't get past either of them.
Back out to Joyo. Heavy first touch. Doesn't mean that he is met mid-air. Juicy delays. Saw that Alpha jumped, and Alpha still managed to recover enough to get some purchase on the ball. And again, Joyo with Astral. Doesn't get there in time. Juicy's by himself. Has he got the support in time? Yes, he has. Got Joyo to pass it off to. What a save that was. It's a save his team needs, because they are 2 goals down here. They cannot go down by yet another one. Astral with Juicy midfield. Can he get it over to his teammate? He can! Saved by Alpha.
Well, these are better saves from both teams here. That's a less than ideal touch there from Joyo, though, straight towards Alpha. Ball is now pinging back and forward from one end of the pitch to the other, but the retreated defensive line of Vitality is more than ready for that. This is not going to cause them too many issues. Well, this might though. Astral up quickly. Alpha handles it. How long can they survive this onslaught? Moist knocking on the door again, but the ball remains safe for the time being, but now it's in. And it didn't take much. Juicy, or Joyo, sorry, centers off the ceiling. Just slams it up into the ceiling, and Alpha and Sizen both went for the back wall. I think if Alpha just stays in the net there, they're going to be more than fine. He joins his teammate on the back wall, and Moist capitalize.
Lots of time to work with. Joyo, I don't even need any of it. Well, this has been the hot hand though. Radostin takes over. In field, 2 players went for it, but both of them for the same team. Juicy just covers for his squad mates. And now back in position. Moist looking to maybe send this to overtime, maybe steal it before time is even up. Joyo off the backboard. That's playable right now as Astral comes in late.
Oh.
Everyone's committed. Now start keeping an eye on the boost totals of Vitality. It's going to start trickling down. Radostin's got the most of them at the moment. He'll have to pick his spot well, and he does go for it. It's gone against them. Who's there first? It's just not lined up for Moist at all. And that's now a minute left.
Yeah, Vitality's boost ran low, but fortunately for them, so did Moist. They couldn't keep the attack going. They're right back into an offensive position now. Joyo had infield options, went to himself. And he was easily denied. That allows Vitality to break free for the first time in a while. They're in a much better position to win the game.
And Joyo gets hit on his way up. I'd be okay with that, actually, because he can now jump in. Instead, he's still being harassed, and Sizen just bumps him away again. Feels very targeted, if anything. 20 seconds left now. Match that I feel has led to a decent upgrade in the level of play that we are seeing. Will we get an overtime to go along with it? Oh, wiped him out! That is pure bullying, but you do what you've got to do. Vitality 2, Moist Esports 2.
Well, that would have been unbelievable if Astral scored at the end there. A little reset double to set himself up in the back corner, and then a shot from an impossible angle. The defense did not see that one coming. But luckily for Vitality, he hit the post, and this time he wasn't able to double tap it as it came back off the post in the opposite direction. Great press to the end there from Moist. They created a flurry of chances. I think using stealing passes really well there at the end of the game. A different surface than most of us think about when we talk about backboard passes. You know, they're just using the other backboard, the one on the ceiling, to create opportunities. But Vitality critically survived. I think if they hadn't survived this, I can't see them coming back. It's just too much to handle. But now this series hangs in a balance. An extremely close match. Both teams have made mistakes. Both teams have made big plays. Who can level up as we get to the business end?
And both teams still have access to their timeouts if they want to use them. This is also the kind of part of the series, Johnny, where we might even say those timeouts just don't come into use at all. Both teams have had good moments. They're trading games. Radostin off the backboard, and yeah, Juicy kind of knew that he didn't want to give Radostin an opportunity to take the back shot. And okay, this is starting to feel like a very big gameplay change here. Same way as Oxygen did earlier on, Johnny. Vitality are going bump crazy.
And Juicy with a reflex save there to keep Moist in a tie game. He just looks like he's perfectly capable of playing at this level, Juicy. Very consistent performance today overall, even in a bit of a chaotic series. It's another missed hit from Sizen. I think he needs to still really get a foothold in this one. He's been uncomfortable at times in this matchup. Love this from Radostin. Slow play, but it's hard read by Juicy. It's still Vitality's ball, though. Looking to just solo play a little bit more here. Don't want to take those risks with the infield passes that got them counter-attacked earlier on in the series. They're just playing directly for net for now. But that could all change they start to create a bit more space at the edge of the box.
Dawson goes backboard, tries to catch Joyo out. Playing on that first goal of this game. Just keep looking towards Radostin at the moment. Maybe not his best first touch that time around, but he has been, I feel, one of the strongest players on the lobby, and now this is their big chance. Double commit as well. Sizen takes control of it, decides to slow play. That does give Moist a bit of time to recover, but they've not done it! Mistake after mistake. Eventually, that ball is bound to go in.
Well, Sizen's made a great play here, and Juicy, with 0 boost, could not get the critical touch as the ball went past him. A great rate of knots. Easy dunk at the end of it all by Radostin, but that's the kind of play we're looking for Sizen to make. Just trade 1 for 1. If you can, take a player like Joyo out of the game, that's a huge win when you've got Alpha 54 behind you. Nice job there as well by Sizen. Quick up in defense. He's had a big impact in this game so far.
Double match point on the line. We are guaranteed to at least be going to Neo Tokyo. Are we still yet going to finish off today by going over to Champions Field? Right now, Vitality in the prime position to maybe not see that happen. Shot stopped by Joyo. Has Astral on the wall near him, who maybe not too happy with the way that ball was delivered to him. Oh, Joyo's got faked out a little bit. Now it's Vitality continuing to prod forwards. 1 player down, Juicy in the perfect position just to prod the ball back up. But Vitality will not rush this position. They know Moist have got a mistake in them. Especially with that 1-goal lead, you do not give up a goal like you did in Game 3.
I like that more from Sizen there. The previous games we've been critical of him getting a bit too close as third man. That time he was more hesitant to move in, I think, understanding that the risk is just simply not worth the limited reward that you've got in that position. And that's proven to be a more difficult structure for Moist to break down. Lovely control by Sizen centering the ball. Seeing so much more of the ball in this game than he has previously. And Vitality are the ones who are benefiting from it. Here he comes again, Sizen. Off the backboard, it's into the middle. Astral reads it the whole way now, brief 2v1. Hammer doesn't handle it. He's got to get across quickly, and he can't get there. Astral to Joyo, and it's 1-1.
They did not overcomplicate that one in the slightest. Radostin, the moment he went for that boost, it was game over for him. Given the angle, taken the angle, 1 each. Massive minute and 10 seconds ahead of us.
That was just clean from Astral and Joyo. Joyo just moving away from the play there to give Astral some space to hit the ball into. It's much more awkward passing in close quarters, so he just leaves a gap, makes it impossible for Radostin to cover the distance. And yeah, definitely a mistake from Radostin to go for the boost, but like we keep mentioning today, he shouldn't be alone in defense in the first place. Alpha 54's gambled on a race to the ball and lost that race to the ball to Astral before Radostin gets called upon to make the 1v2 hero play. So yeah, definitely a full team mistake there from Vitality.
Well, Astral has not really put a foot wrong so far. In a series that has sort of lagged at times, Astral seems to have been the most consistent hand out there. That is an interesting mid-air bump. All up, Juicy gives chase. Over to Joyo. Juicy's going to look for Alpha, who does not jump. Took his time, kept his cool, and even got the support that he was required. One final opportunity here. Are they going to get it? Oh, God! Radostin might have just stole it at the last possible moment.
Unbelievable pass from Alpha. Again, generating so much power with almost no momentum, almost no boost in the tank. He just launches the ball at his teammate on the infield. We wondered if we'd see it late in the game. It was all solo plays earlier on, but that angle's opened up again. Moist covering the long shot. Moist looking for the backboard defense, but forgot about the infield pass. Great switch up there by Vitality. Alpha 54 absolutely on the money with the pass. Radostin with 2 goals to seal the deal. Timeout Moist. We wondered if we'd see one. Well, there it is. I think that's a smart move, given the situation.
Oh, that gives us even more time to talk about how amazing Alpha's passing plays have been in this series, because again, it's those infields. I don't know what it is, because, and maybe you can help me a little bit with this one, Johnny, because I feel like when it comes to infield passes, a lot of them seem to be quite well read by the defending team. But when it comes to Alpha, I don't know if it's because it feels like he's in an impossible angle and he still manages it, but he catches teams out.
Yeah, it's just those little side flips. Both of his low boost infield passes have utilized one of the most simple things in Rocket League, just side flipping into the ball. But it's side flipping into the ball and making sure that you hit the ball with the front edge of the car. The front corner can generate an incredibly surprising amount of power on the ball. It's something you'll see 1v1 players do quite a lot, where they just get right beside the ball and they'll be barely moving, and then suddenly a side flip sends it to the bottom corner faster than the keeper can react to. Definitely one that, you know, we're talking earlier on about things you don't want to try and copy from Alpha, because it's just going to get you in trouble in your ranked games. That's something I would suggest you to go and try at home, as just those little side flips when you're barely moving. You'd be amazed how quickly that you can get the ball going with just a little power. But yeah, you need to be perfect with it. You need to get a perfect contact point, like Alpha 54 did there. And you know, we've also got to give props to Radosin for being there. I mean, how frustrating is it when you've got a 0 second or, you know, a near the end of the game opportunity, you center the ball and no one's there. I mean, we've all been there. I'm sure we can all relate. That time Alpha would have been delighted to look up to his left and see a teammate waiting for him in the middle, with full faith that the pass is coming towards him, and buried the shot in the top corner as well. Perfect placement. Yeah, started off the game with a pretty easy dunk goal from Radosin before he was thoroughly outplayed in a 2v1. Look at that there, though. Radosin darting forward, giving Alpha the option, and Moist didn't realize till it was too late.
I do love what we're seeing, the animation that we're getting from Vitality as well. We saw them most well up and walking around, talking to each other, getting themselves ready for what could be a big 1, maybe 2 matches. I'm pulling towards 2, but it is up to Moist. They've had the timeout. They are 4-1 this season after calling a timeout. So statistically, we are guaranteed 80% chance of going to Champions Field. And Vitality put another notch against them and send themselves through to that semi-finals.
Yeah, we need to see a Game 7 as well, for scientific purposes, to find out if it was Moist to have the Game 7 ice, or if Rise took it with him when he left. We haven't really seen...
Have we guaranteed that it wasn't Vatira's then?
Well, I think they still had some Game 7 ice when Vatira left. You know, they're still clutching up some goals. But yeah, I'd love to see the stats on it now that we've got the full comparison. But yeah, this would be their first Game 7 with the new roster. If they
I see direct typing already. He was ready for this one. Good to get Sizen back into the play already. He has looked more comfortable in the last few moments. And, well, he's given us a different stat. Weirdly, there's only been 3 Game 7s in Europe this season. That is weird, actually. At this point last season, it was 8. Well, Europe has decided to not give us Champions Field that often this season, but maybe we can get it this time.
Yeah, most of Moist and Team Gaze's Champions Field seem to, you know, happen on lands as well. A lot of them certainly, if not most. I don't know if you've noticed, by the way, that Joyo's in the Dominus at the moment. So
Joyo's been... I stopped looking because Joyo has left the lobby after every single loss.
Yeah, so it's often just a change of preset, but now he's made a complete car change. He's switched into the Dominus. I mean, he started this series in the Fennec, and that really communicates solid play. When you think Fennec, you think, okay, this is just going to be a solid play style, consistent. Dominus is the complete opposite. It is a wild play style, and it's not one that's worked out early, as Radosin and Sizen combine to completely outplay Vitality. Sizen had the first defender jumping the wrong way with his pass. Radosin had Astral Prey jumping in the goal line with his. Yeah, they disguised their intentions beautifully to open the scoring.
If you're a Vitality fan, that is what you want to see. It's been good to see what Alpha has done, but you want those two linking up. Giving yourself that extra wrinkle when it comes to offense. So far, so good for Vitality. They might not give us our 4th Game 7 of the season. Just to add some more to that stat, by the way, Moist have not been to Game 7 yet. So we don't know where the ice is for them, but Vatira definitely took away Champions Field.
I know it's here. When he left, he cited that he'd rather not go to Champions Field himself. I don't think it's something that they particularly enjoyed. Oh, hold on. I sat in. Not quite. And Astral not able to flip through the ball for the second touch. Well, Vitality get away with murder. The ball was on their goal line for at least a second. And they have
all the people
avoided conceding.
After the reads that he has had, oh, it might get worse. Juicy stops it, but they're not going to get another one. No, Crossbar comes in for them. We stay at 1-0.
The patience from Joyo just watching the crossbar bounce. He can see that there is no Vitality player approaching, so a bit more of a calm situation than the one we had at the other end. I'm sure the comms from Moist are going to be anything but calm at the moment as the clock continues to tick down. Joyo misreads the back corner bounce. It's a failed experiment with the Dominus so far. There's music to my ears. That means we're not going to see a resurgence of ranked teammates hopping in the car. Juicy quickly up for this, but Sizen blocks him. What an impact Sizen's had in this game and the last. Really elevating Vitality to that triple threat at times.
Joyo now up, and this is where that Dominus is supposed to come into effect. Much more difficult to read the touches once he reaches the air. Well, didn't quite work though, and time has ticked away ever so quickly. Only 90 seconds left. After one opportunity, just got stuck on the goal line. Moist have not generated anything since, and Alpha is proving why he is that guy. Back up again. Off the demo, opportunity, stealing, reset! And you just knew, once the reset happened, it was a matter of time.
Oh, he might be sick IRL, but he's sick in game today of all days. And that puts Vitality on the brink of a semi-final in the first event of the winter split. We agreed yesterday Moist have got their absolute baseline minimum success for this split. They, of course, have to do better than this if they're going to finish top 5. But what a win this is for Vitality. What a weekend it is. They've just stolen BDS top 8 spot to auto-qualify for the next event. And now they're going to greater heights. They're looking to advance into a top 5 and secure a spot for LAN. Just 42 seconds away. Astral tries to make the solo play, but Redostin just clatters him on the recovery and puts an end to that play before it could begin.
Well, if we are going to see Moist go any further in this, then it has to be the most icy performance ever. Need 2 goals, and they need them soon. At this current rate, it doesn't look like it's happening. They're scrabbling just to get contact on the ball, let alone create an offensive opportunity. Juicy to Astral, off the wall. Joyo is in the midfield, but that's not going to work for them. Just need to get rid of the ball one more time, but time has ticked away. And Rocket League's sleeping giant appears to be back. Team Vitality have gone to Championship Sunday.